Hi everybody, it's Colin here from Woodthorp International. We have the start of the build of the baseboards, but only in a small way. And then I've got some Japanese, two Japanese strains running around and showing you a close-up of them. They will be running in this shed on the naturally on the Japanese, but also there's some other bits and pieces running. But the development is the Helix is in place and it's higher up. It's not on the floor, and it's because I built some frame. Now I've actually used redwood. I'm not a great lover of using the fast grown stuff, what you use for smoothing walls and stuff for framing. It's just, it's just a different class of wood, and this is a lot stronger because there's quite a bit of weight in that. But I've just done a frame with an extra cross piece here, just so that this board can go on and just sit on the edge, but there's a lot of timber to hold that part up. And at the moment I've just got a leg at each corner, shouldn't need any more, and I've just widened it out at the bottom because I've got some adjustable feet what are on there. What I'm just letting it do is settle into the carpet and into the underlay, because in another week's time this will have dropped, and then I can just adjust it up, and it'll only need maybe 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch to pack it up. But just one, a couple of things. If you can, I would use redwood, especially because if there is going to be any moisture anywhere, there's more resin in redwood, so there's less likely of movement and stuff. But what I did do, I've taken off all the corners under here, all there, all the bottom edges, the inside of the bottom edges. I've taken the Harris off, and if you don't know what a Harris is, that's taking the corner off basically. I've just sanded it round where these are still 90-degree corners, and that won't matter because there's board going on it. So I've just done that one because it's better for feeling, but we have to get under there to get inside here when this all has a hill on, so we can get to anything what may come off or any problems. So if we put our hands on it or touch it with the body, catch it with arms or whatever getting in, it's just nicer, and just little things like that just finish it off. So all the legs all over have had this Harris taken off the corner on all of these, and then the bridge is roughly in place. It's maybe not exact, but it's to try and give us a clue. And this is the impact. If you see the doors there, when you open the doors, that is going to hit you with all the rocks on the inside there, and the water coming through here. And it's wider, as you can see, than the edge of the bridge, because then I can have just a little bit of land on, and then it can, as I've said in the past, it'll drop down, but you will be able to see in there, Purely so, again, when Japan runs underneath it, it won't be seen here unless you get down to look in, but we'll be able to, if something comes off, we can get to it. And I want, the board full width. You could just put the board where the track is, but if it falls off, there's a bit of a drop. Well, okay, it's not a great deal, but I don't really want it to fall that far, so it'll just fall onto the edge of the board, like any other train, like here, it'll just fall onto here, or that side, and then I can just sort it out. But the water will come here, and this point here is the correct height, 4 foot. So that's the American level, and then that's the Japanese level. And I'm going to have it closer to this edge than I am on this side. This side is slightly going to be further away. But that's roughly in the right place. It's a little bit tight here. I'll curve this bit of board from here. This is why I've kept the frame back, so I can just cut the board round, and the same on this side. It's a little bit tighter here because there will be a board coming out to about here, because there's got to be just 4 pieces of track at both levels. Both have to have an in to get to each country from the other countries, and to get through into the fiddle yard, which will be over there through that wall, and then they have to come back out of the fiddle yard and come out of each country. So there's like 4 in, 2 out on each level. So, and there's no decoration on this side, it's just 2 boards, so I may have to just walk through sidewards, but I don't want to do any crawling, barring having to get under there to get into the middle of that, but I might never have to do it. Excuse me. So that's the it roughly in the right place. Naturally this will come out, that'll just get lifted over and taken out probably before the bridge is permanently in place. That's what I'm up to with this first bit of framing. I quite like that. And just to show you the plan again, that's the trestle bridge. It is slightly different. I only allowed the track to go around the outside. Wasn't going to have a bridge. It's only, it changed very soon after. And it was a case of, we've got to have this trestle bridge. So that has gone out a bit. So in theory, that's in the same place. That the Helix has come this way towards the camera. There's the sea over there. For the outside line is going to drop down and go under the sea to the other island in Japan. And that's the narrow bit where there's the 4 tracks. So, I mean, the size is 3 or 5, but you don't need all that room. The only thing I put that amount of room on because these have to drop or stay. One of the lines. The one going through to the fiddle yard has to climb to go over that one and then be on a bridge to go through, and then it'll drop down into the fiddle yard when it gets there. Unless I make the fiddle yard a little bit higher. We're only talking 50mm 2-inch. They don't have to be the same height as this level here. It just needs to be the same height as the track. That might make it easier. Where this track is here, this very light one, that's staying at the level, but the one going round has to drop down 50mm to go under that track and under the sea, and then it comes back in here, so it's then going the correct way around for how, you know, what side of the road they drive on. And these lines here are where it connects to the bottom of the Helix, which is there. So it's sort of, we're looking at it like that. So I'm quite excited. It means now I can start doing some work, you know, decoration work, showing how I'm going to do the rocks and covering the face of this on the other side. This side I probably won't. I won't cover it. I don't know yet. I may or I may not. Haven't decided. But down the sides I will. On both sides. And then the land will come out here. It'll come out and then drop down. This might be just sheer rock side down here. You sometimes see in America where they have these flat-ended rocks going straight down into the water. Well, there ain't going to be no water, but that's what it could be like. And again, Japan will be under it, so you don't see Japan, you know, going round this helix. So I haven't fully decided how I'm going to do it yet. All I know is rocks, you know, greenery, waterfall in there, and the land coming over this to cover it. So it'll have like a lid on top. But my packers are doing well. All my, you know, trains in boxes, mainly all Kato, sets and stuff like that. And a lot of these boxes will be running in here, because that's Kato is either American or Japan. There's not much. I think I've got one European train. From Kato, and then there's the 800s. But mainly Kato will be in here. You enjoy the running and showing you the trains. What will be running either in here or in the rest of the layouts when complete. I just thought I'd show you a couple of trains, what will be running in here, in this shed, on the Japanese layout. Just a couple. This one, what's in view at the moment, will pull any coaches that I end up having, because I do just have coaches, and there is a train called Rainbow, and that's actually pulled by an electric train, but it looks like a DMU. It's got a, you know, push and pull. But for some reason they have it pulled by an electric at the front or the back. I don't think they would I haven't seen it in the middle. So it's just something a bit different. I just thought I'd show you this one with some goods wagons, what will be running on the Japanese layout. I'll just send it past. And it's a nice loco. Interesting having the middle bogie as well. And these are the oil tankers. I've got some green ones as well. They're very nice, run really well. Absolutely smooth. I could probably push it once round this oval and it would go all the way around. So just move that out of the way. And then the other train what will be running is my favourite. Well, one of my favourites. It's the best colour so far. There's some other trains what I like and run very, very, very well, like this does. But this is just Japan all over. And I just love the colour scheme on this livery. I just think it's smart. And I put a decoder in this because it didn't come with what, it's a hardwired one as well. I actually I was a bit naughty in a way. I'll just let it keep going, then I'll bring it back round to just tell you what I did. But for me, it just made sense. Absolutely 100% sense. And I mean, it goes like a bullet. It's not the bullet train, but it goes very fast indeed. And very smooth. Going around the bank, it's great. So I'll just send it round. What I did was the top of the engine is in here. It's right in the bottom, so you can still see the seats and stuff. But what I did was I took the top. The actual motor was meant to be saying that one there. And I thought, well, all the glass going through, you'd see the decoder, because the decoder has to sit on top of the seats or at an end of an aisle if there's a gap. Sometimes they have gaps, where luggage would go. But what I thought of doing was to swap the tops over. If I just move it back and put that one, because I'll just move it forward a little bit, because this from there to there you can't see in. So I put the decoder at this end and put this body on and move the motor unit to here, because it's the same size, just a different top. So I thought that was a way of me hiding, because I could have painted the decoder, but it comes, the one I use, what I've done a lot of the K2 hard wiring, it's bright red. And okay, these are quite small windows, but if I was to put lights in these, which you can, it would just stick out. So I thought I'd hide it in that bit. So I've moved the motor up to here instead of, say, in the middle. But I'll show you what it runs like going round and having a higher view of them both. And they run just like Kato at the end of the day. You know, get them out of the box and off they go. And that one is running about half its speed, but it's just so smooth. If I just turn it up to go a bit faster, I haven't programmed this in yet for speed, so it may alter because I don't know what the CV settings are. I've just put them in as I've just left it alone since putting it in. It went. And I think it's actually got a restriction on how fast the controller will let it go anyway. As you can tell, the controller on every train what the maximum velocity is going to be. And at the moment I haven't messed about with that. But for one thing, I haven't done a speed check anyway. So it probably won't make any difference to it. But that's two trains what will be running in here on the Japanese layout. And at some point either of them will go under the sea in this far corner where the ship is and disappear to if it's going to the other island, but where it's going is into the fiddle yard, and then comes back out of the sea back onto the layout. And I think those, I mean the black against the white snow, will just look amazing. But I just thought I'd show you a couple of the Japanese what will be running in this shed. I just thought I'd show you this again. It's a wagoner, well, a train. I'm calling it a truck as such, and it's got an IAB on, and I think it's just a little beauty, just to go with the network rail stuff. If I get a screwdriver and just lift this bit up, as you can see, that bit goes up, which for doing some scenes, you could see it lifting bags of ballast off and putting it on the side of the track and stuff like that. The little motor's in here, and like I say, I just think it's really, really nice. Again, it's different. Being different. And it runs quite well. It's not the quietest of engines, but, you know, on a main layout with other noise going on, if other trains are going faster, you're never going to hear this. Just tootling along. One other thing I have managed to do, what I had to do was get internet into this shed, and I was lucky that I could get a hard wire in, and which was great. But the handset, what I use for the loadie, this, I don't want to move the camera because it's set up. That needs Wi-Fi, and when it was in the conservatory at Gemma's, set a network up. So I've just had to get a mechanism to change the hardwire through a switcher for the Ethernet cable, and take one up to this unit, what changes it back into Wi-Fi. And the best thing is, it works. So I am so happy. So now I've still got the Pico controller set up, but I'll generally just use the loading out. I'm just using it at the moment as a DCC controller. I'm not going through the computer or through iTrains. I'm just using it as a controller. That was another thing I needed to do, so I know when I start I ain't gonna have any problems, you know. I didn't want to then start having to think about that part. So I'm all set up, and I now know how I'm gonna get the Wi-Fi to work in the other sheds, you know, as and when. So that's that bit. So I'll move this little truck off. Like I say, it's not the quietest, but it runs really well. And the best thing is, just to stop it a minute, there's two wires connecting the two units together, because the decoder's in here and the pickup's going to the motor in there. And it doesn't go closer or pull, and the wires don't end up going straight at the moment. They're going diagonal, you know, slight curve, diagonal and curve back to this. And what it is, it's connected by magnet. So it doesn't alter at all. And when it pushes, it doesn't get closer because the magnet is there. I think that's really quite clever. I know it's simple to a lot of people, but for me, that's clever. So I've got this running round, and I'll send that off. And then another thing I've got going, I've just put on a 67 Royal Diamond, weathered by Mersic Studios, who, as you know, we do like. And in it comes. I'll just run it past. And he's on network rail duty, doing some work instead of doing anything else. So I'll just show you it going past really slow so you can see the detail. Again, the front windscreen has wiper marks on where the wipers have wiped a clean marking. The front has the detailing, which he does. He lowers the actual body slightly as well. And he's, the weathering, everywhere is just fantastic. I know other companies and people do an absolute great job. We do have some TMC, and we like the TMC stuff, but we have a little spot for Mersic Studios. Anyway, I'll just speed it up. So what he's got doing today is taking a crane either from a job or to a job. I have a couple of these. I have a yellow one. I think I've got a grey one as well. But I've got this one to represent EWS. But I think it's more European than anybody else's. So I might be able to run it on there and run the yellow one over here. But I'll take you off the stand. I'll show you these other, the trains running round. And as you can see, that'll be the space underneath the bottom baseboard, which will take one of those height. The top one's the highest one. That's a thinner one. they'll slide underneath along this wall. They don't all have to be in here. What I'm probably end up doing is just having the boxes and just have American and Japan stuff in the boxes in here. At the moment they're all mixed up because I've got them all at different stages, so they've just gone into a box when I've got them, tried and put them away or whatever. Like all the empty boxes of Japan, I'll stay in here in some more of these, but they'll slide under there, that bit of framing, easy enough. And that'll be the difference between the height from here up to here between the two levels, and that this is just a nice height to look at. If you can imagine the height of that lock there, and the standard height of a handle, that's what you're looking at. A tall, a bar stool for in here, and then the dining room type chair just to sit on to work on the lower level, because that's as I'm sat and holding it round about chest height as the camera, and this is about 600mm. So I'm quite pleased. So thanks very much for stopping by. Any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll keep tidying up, keep making room on here, start back on the bridge soon. Now getting it in place, there's more eagerness, now. But I've still got a lot of decorating to do in there, and that'll be quite interesting to see and show you as I progress. So thanks very much. Bye for now. Bye.